Today I'll be talking to you about gun laws in America, more specifically, gun control. I'll be sharing my views on gun control and why I do not fully agree with it. Gun control is a very big, controversial topic within the U.S. between many people. I will go over the pros and cons and also share some of my personal views on why I do not agree with it. What is gun control? Well, gun control is a form of laws that a congressman or a president or a senator would want to set into place to restrict certain things within the gun community. For example, high-capacity magazines are banned in California due to gun control laws. The reason I do not agree with it is because my father is a gunsmith and sells and builds his own firearms. And to be able to do this, it took him 3 years to receive his license to sell and produce guns. Another reason I don't agree with gun control is because there's already very, very many laws set into place to prevent certain things from happening. For example, there's the extensive background checks that you would hear about. And when I say extensive, they are very extensive. Sometimes people don't even get their gun the day they come to get it because of how long the background check could take. And the gun dealers are also watched very closely. A representative of the state, or sometimes of the federal government, at the end of each year will come into my dad's office and will look through his books to check to see if everything is filled out correctly and everyone who received a gun was able to receive a gun. And there's things as small as missing a date or not writing down the serial number or getting the correct street address of someone that could cause my father to get a demerit of sorts. I will now move on to some of the pros and cons of gun control law. Many people say a pro of gun control is more gun control laws will reduce the gun-related deaths in America. I do not agree with this because, although yes, it would reduce some death, it would not deter the crime rate in America, because many criminals who most likely, if they're criminals, do not care on whether they are able to legally own a firearm or not, could get a hold of the firearm still and still be able to commit the crimes. And gun ownership itself, in my opinion, deters crime, because if you were a criminal and you knew somebody had a weapon in their home or was carrying one with them out in public, you would be less likely to attack that person. Another pro of gun control would be more gun control laws would lead to fewer suicides. Which, yes, that is true. Have been cases of suicides coming from guns. It happens. It does happen. But it would not prevent it completely, because there are still other factors that could go into someone committing suicide or something along the lines of that. Now, a con of it, what most people say, is more gun control is needed. More gun control is needed to stop young people from getting hurt with guns. And I do not agree with this, because more gun control is not needed necessarily to fix that. But more education on gun safety is needed. When I was younger, my dad always taught me, every time before he gave me a gun, he would make me go through the rules of how to safely use and operate the weapon. Because it is a machine, just like a car is a machine. You have to go through a test and know all these rules about how to drive your vehicle properly. So why wouldn't you do that for guns? the more people are educated, the safer they can be. Another con is said that gun laws would prevent protection from foreign invaders. And this is true because many people, although it is unlikely to happen, many people believe that if the U.S. was invaded, they would feel safe to be able to defend their home and their property, which is a true statement. They would be able to. And I also agree with this because as a gun owner, if someone was to, say, invade the U.S., I myself would feel very safe and protected. Now, I'm going to move on to what effects gun control would have on the U.S. Now, there's positive effects and there's negative effects. Some of the positive effects are some of the pros I went over, and some of the negative effects could be the cons I went over. This could affect everyone, each and everyone differently in the U.S. For me, I personally do not agree with it because it would affect my dad's business as a gun salesman, and it would also affect the way I feel about being able to protect not only myself and my family, but people around me if I was in a public situation. Now, on the other hand, if it were to happen that more gun control laws were set into place, it could affect people in certain areas of the U.S. that are more apt to gun violence and things of that matter. And I hope all this information that I provided has been informative, and I hope you've learned something today. Taking into consideration what I said, think about the facts, and think about how this would affect you. Because it may affect me one way, but it would affect you another. Thank you.